All right, hi everybody. It is August 18th, Tuesday. So, yeah, like I told you guys before, I'm kind of dedicating Tuesdays for off-planet sort of updates. Well, this is kind of just some information I want to share to you guys. I mean, there's so much to talk about, so much to learn, and I'm still learning too. But I'll kind of update you as far as what I know for now, anyway. And I want to talk about the Greys. Everybody talks about the Greys. It's the most common extraterrestrial used in like not only movies and things like that. It's like a small, short, like usually 4.5 foot tall, big head, classic, and gray skin. Obviously, a lot of people just think that that was just imaginary character. There's lots of variations on it as well. But no, it's legitimate. Those that they're actually the Greys exist for sure, and there is actually a wide variety of them. Like, as far as I know, there's probably at least 4 or 5 different species of them, and like some of them I think are from the it's like what's called the Zeta Reticula star system. The reason why they're so famous, or they're more well known, is because they're the ones that have been doing most of the abductions since the late 40s all the way up to, I think they kind of quit the abductions in the like the around the year 2000 or something. It was really popular in the 90s and the 80s. A lot of people were abducted then. So I did a lot of research into that, and I want you guys to look at them as well. Some of the more interesting ones are that footage from Russia. If you look up Skinny Bob, that's kind of a classic, I think, Zeta type of gray, and they're usually short. But then there's actually some tall ones. They're around 6 feet tall. Again, different species. So here's the thing to know about them. The basic thing to learn about them is they made some deals with different governments around the world. The United States in particular, what they did was they traded tech. Basically, this is to more of the deep state, or basically the shadow government, because it wasn't known to the public that they were doing this deal. But basically, they signed kind of a contract or a deal that they would trade technology, supposed to be for flying, things like that. Yeah, a bunch of other stuff that we've been, getting as far as high-tech items and things like that. In exchange for, they said that they were going to able to abduct people and then wipe their memory clean of it. That was kind of the deal, and it was going to be so many per year. They were allowed to do so many per year. But as usual, all these contracts are always broken, or these deals are broken over the years. So that's why you'll hear a lot of stories of when people get abducted. They go, well, I saw a human in the room, like in a doctor's robe or something, usually a military, uniform or something, as well as these small Greys that were abducting me. Now they also have tech to increase not only their frequency, but I guess put almost like a force field around you, increase the frequency so you can actually go through solid objects, through windows, through doors, things like that. So that's usually when they take you, they abduct you. And from what I get, I've got so much written about them. But as usual for me, I always try to find more than one source. So I've been sort of cross-referencing different people's accounts of not only what happened to them, but kind of what was the agenda. That's basically what everybody's kind of curious. It's like, what are they doing? So the main thing that they've been trying to do is get a lot of our DNA, or they want to do hybrid. They want to get our DNA to save their species, because as far as I know, their species is dying. It's like, well, human beings have learned how to do cloning, which is a separate subject I know, and I'll get into that in another video. But basically, from what I understand, is they've been cloning for so many years. It's like a copy upon a copy upon a copy upon a copy. They don't have hardly any original DNA left. So because of that, that particular race on those planets, and there's, like I said, there's quite a few out there, they've been around for a long time. Human beings, in a sense, this particular model this biological body that we inhabit, we're kind of a newer model, even though we're probably, who knows, 1,000,000 years old, our particular, humanoid type. And it's been tweaked and refined over the years. But as far as I know, the grays in particular, and like I said, there's a few different versions of them. Some of them are kind of even beige, kind of a brownish hint to them. But like I said, they're mostly clones, and which human beings now, modern human beings, especially our controllers, they use that cloning technique as a kind of a backup system. It's like, well, as we can imagine, that was the idea when they said that they can make clones, which is like, okay, it's going to be your body, extra parts or something, you know what I mean? But see, moralistically, in our minds, we're thinking, well, if you're going to make a clone, what are you going to keep him in stasis? And then, if I lose an arm, you're going to take an arm from him, or and put it onto me. Now, I get that concept and everything, but they're saying, well, doesn't that body have a spirit? Well, here's the thing: is no. What it is once you it's like a body, it's like a shell, and in order to activate it, same with the ones we're walking around in all the time, we basically have a spirit or our soul or a spirit that's driving this body, in a sense. It's aware. So, like, I don't want to go too much more into clones, but anyway, the grays, for the most part, are kind of like clones. It's a better way of almost explaining it. And because of that, they don't understand also feelings. Like, not only physical sensations are different. Like, so that's why they don't have empathy when they're hurting somebody, and they don't have physical feelings like we do. You can kill them for sure. They're in a sense mortal that way. But again, what you're doing is you're just killing that body, and that the entity that was basically driving it, the spirit or something, is basically remote controlled a lot of times. So anyway, I can sort of go on more about the different species and things like that, but I'm just trying to also just generalize for you guys that just don't know, some of the basics going on out there. And then because they made a kind of a contract or a deal to be able to abduct human beings and wipe out their memories, some of us that got abducted or had interactions with them usually get our minds wiped out, like all of our memory. And so that's why we'll kind of like maybe have a nightmare about it or a dream, but we can't really put it into reality, because we just don't have a solid memory of it. It's really vague or something. So that happens a lot. But what was interesting for me when I was researching a lot of that is I realized when they made this contract, there was something like 50 years is what they said they were able to do that for, which is around the 40s. So from what I understand is they were supposed to complete whatever they were doing, their hybridization of human with, trying to get our DNA with them, probably end around in the mid-90s. So this is, in a sense, when I started doing some initial research on it, and I thought to myself, well, okay, when the contract ends, then what? And sure enough, I guess the written contract is by that time they were expecting to have disclosure so they could be more open about it. So in a sense, I was waiting back then, or around year 2000, going, their contract's over. They're gonna come clean on what's been going on with this. But as usual, both sides were breaking the contracts, not living up to their end of the bargain, and just just kept on extending this out. Well, as far as I know, they don't do it anymore. They're still out there, but as far as them trying to do their programs, well, basically, they're being stopped in a sense by doing that. So that's a good thing. Um, Man, there's lots going on out there. But I guess one of the better ways to explain our situation we're in right now with ETs is we have a lot of benevolent uh, extraterrestrials that are kind of on our side, helping us. And well, they can't really interfere too much, but they're basically, in a sense, assisting us from breaking free from this control program that we're in right now. Our controllers. So they're watching us, kind of assisting us, but it's really up to us because they can't do the work because it's basically up to us to do it. Sort of, it's like they can assist, but it's that free will sort of contract thing. They're not allowed to interfere too much. So that's kind of the extent of that right now. I'm gonna probably once I get this connecting the dots more organized, I'll probably be able to just do a screen grab and throw it up and explain a little more in detail about what I'm talking about. But anyway, there's lots of stuff out there, and there's a lot more becoming available to research. So you could Google a lot of really interesting history and videos on the subject. So I think that's about it for today. And as you guys noticed, I did a live video earlier, and it's basically talking about us, this page connecting the dots, becoming more public. So and I want to have more interaction with guest speakers and you guys. Do maybe some live videos with you guys and discussing different topics. So I'm kind of looking forward to doing more of that. And I guess that's about it for today. And so let's decide that if we're going to go public or not. Maybe by the end of this week we can have a consensus if we want to do it or not. So, all right, that's it for today. I'll talk to you guys by the end of the week or something. All right, bye.